Greetings from Podcastville. It's Monday, the 19th of September, you bad motherfuckers. The Church of What's Happening Now is brought to you by CBDLion.com. Listen, everybody's talking about CBD oil, CBD this, CBD that. I got the answer. CBDLion.com. Tincture, shatter, vapor, you name it, gummies, the best fucking raspberry gummies you've ever had in your goddamn life. 500 milligrams. You'll sleep like a baby, recover. You'll feel fucking so good you won't know what to do with yourself. Go to CBD Lion right now and look at the third-party test results yourself. Go to CBD Lion and on the way out, press in church and get 20% off your first order delivered right to your house. The church is also brought to you by Upstart. Most of us find the hard way. Getting into debt is easy. Getting out of debt is hard, especially if your FICO score isn't great. Thankfully now, there's Upstart.com, a revolutionary lending platform that knows you're more than just a credit score. Your Upstart interest rate is based on your education and your job history, not your credit score. So see why Upstart is ranked #1 in their category with over 300 businesses on Trustpilot. Hurry to upstart.com/church. That's CHURCH to find out how low your Upstart rate is. Checking your rate only takes a few minutes and it will not affect your credit. That's upstart.com/church. Kick this motherfucking muley. It's Monday, the 19th of August. Get your shit together. Mick Mahan's in studio. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, buddy. How
What's
about you?
going on, my man?
What's going on? I'm home for a minute and getting ready to go back out.
How long?
Okay, get a little closer here.
Get a little closer to me. Harvey Weinstein style. You know what I'm saying? That's how Harvey, I can't hear you. And then he'd rub his fucking shoulder on your tit. And it was all downhill after that. You know what I'm saying?
After that, you're done.
Yeah.
So here I go again for another 3 weeks.
So how long has this tour been going
This
on?
tour, well, we did about 6-7 weeks just prior to this, and then I've been home for about 10 days. And it will go back out for another 3, come home for 3, go back out for another 21 days or something like that. It's a little bit more this year because of the 40th anniversary.
And it's the 40th anniversary
of the release of Hit Me With Your Best Shot.
Really? Such Crimes of Passion.
40 years.
Crimes of Passion
Yeah,
that we're
Crimes of
talking about. Jesus fucking Christ.
Can you believe it? Well, Heat of the Night was before that.
Right, Heat of the Night was
Yeah.
before that.
So,
My Clone Sleeps Alone.
yeah, baby.
That's a good album.
On the key
It's a
album.
little bit of a different type of darker album.
Yeah.
I heard she had problems putting that album out. Like somebody, this, that. I still remember Pat Benatar on the fucking Catch a Rising Star
You do.
stand-up comedy special with her. I still remember Pat Benatar when HBO did the special, Live from Earth on HBO. It was like a special. And then the biggest blunder I had was Pat was going to marry Neil.
That's right.
And MTV did a contest. You could go to Hawaii and go to the contest if you sent in postcards. So our plan was to go to the wedding and fucking tell Neil he can't do it. Like, you got to take a hike, Neil.
Get out of the way.
You're going to have a problem. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So I'm not kidding you. I worked for a bookie at the time.
It's all right.
And I got off work on 118th Street, and I would go to a stationery store, and I actually, every day for 3 weeks, I filled out cards, and I would put 100 of them in the mail from different mailboxes all over the city. Because first prize was a trip to Hawaii. Second prize was Tropico, like 100 copies autographed. And the third prize, like, you got a T-shirt or some shit. Then all of a sudden they announced some fucking Mukiak won it in fucking Virginia. And then I'm waiting for my album because I sent in 1,000 postcards. No album, no T-shirt.
You got nothing.
I got dick.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Fucking
stiffed.
MTV. But that's serious. They were going to get married on MTV. Like, that was how big MTV was in those days.
Oh, yeah. First video ever played.
Yeah.
Second video. He was the first guitar player.
Was he?
Yeah, first guitar player.
So the
on
first
MTV.
video was Video Steal the Video Storm.
I'm not sure what it was exactly, but
What was the
there was
first
no
video?
guitar.
What was the first video played on MTV?
Let's find out.
Yeah.
I think it's Video Killed the Radio Star. It was one of those type of jams.
Is that right? Okay.
And then Pat came up
Yeah.
with either Hit Me With Your Best Shot or Treat.
Treat-
Dun,
Treat-
dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, the Rascals song.
We were talking about it last night. She had a red and
Money
white.
for Nothing is the first one.
Oh, that
That's
was
what
the
they're
first
saying.
band. Okay.
Dire Straits.
You
August
Better Run was-
1987.
You Better Run was
No,
the
no,
first.
no, no. The first song played on MTV came out in 1981, September 15th of 1981. The first song ever played on MTV was I contact you because you smell like 10 fucking who's and then
I don't know what
You're right. It's Video Killed the Radio
Who the fuck you think you're
okay.
dealing with? Video,
you know what you're
killed
talking
the
about.
radio star. So what's the second song played on?
You Better Run by Pat
You
Benatar.
Better
There you
Run.
fucking go. Ba-ba, dun, dun, dun,
Yep.
dun, dun, dun. And then there was also a video we played last week that was in so much because when MTV came out, it's not like they had a million videos.
No.
They had 15
was all
videos. 8 of them were like old, like somebody had just done promotional. And they were terrible, the videos. Like the lead singer would be eating popcorn and the music would be going off. They
Nothing
were
was
horrendous.
synced. Yeah.
Nothing was synced. So the only real videos you had was Video Killed the Radio Storm, which wasn't a band. It was like Fishes and In My Heart and In My Soul, and all that shit. Then it was Pat. And then the other high rotating video was Van Halen. If This Is Love, live from Oakland, 1981, which we played last week. And you could tell the strength of who the fuck Van Halen was.
Oh, yeah.
He comes out with a bottle of Jack, and he puts a fucking scarf on. And he goes, what do you think of my old Oakland scarf? And they're going fucking crazy. When you look at that, you're like, that's Guns N' Roses without steroids. They were just opening up the door for Guns N' Roses without
Yeah.
steroids.
A lot of those bands were.
So what made you get into this fucking career? You just could have had a restaurant in Ohio.
No, I
You
wasn't
could have
even
sold
thinking about
Oxycontins
restaurants.
in the back door.
They didn't exist either.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what the hell got me into this. It kind of picked me.
How old were you when you started playing the bass?
Well, I started playing bass when I was about 13, but I started on guitar about 10, 11. You know, so I got in a band right away. And my band opened up I got a chance to play with Ramsey Lewis when I was a little kid. And I thought that was really cool. And I was playing guitar. And then nobody else wanted to play bass. The bass player quit. They said, somebody's got to do it. You want to give it a try? So my buddy lent me a bass. It was probably, I don't know, $50 bass or something like that he got at Woolworths. And I just fell in love with the instrument. You know, I started listening to Led Zeppelin, Steppenwolf, and all these bands that were coming out. And I just fell in love with it. You know, it struck me.
When you were 18, what were you doing?
At 18, I had just gotten out of college. I was 17. I went to Kent State, and I was still playing in bands.
All 4 years at Kent
4
State?
years at Kent State, yeah.
And this is after the disaster at Kent State a few
Yes,
years
this
later?
was after, yeah.
A couple of years later?
Yeah, a little bit after.
Now, were you in a band when you were at Kent State?
I was always in a band.
Okay, you've
So-
always been, this is all
Yeah,
you know.
this is all I've ever done. But my thing was on Wednesday, I would leave Kent State, and I'd go play gigs. I'd go visit my friends in Pittsburgh, and then I would play gigs Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then drive back up to Kent State, and then go to school for 3 days.
Was there any money in those days?
About the same damn money you're making at a club now, believe it or not. Yeah, it's about the same.
How fucking crazy
Yeah,
is
how
that?
crazy is this business, you know?
40 years later.
Yeah, you know, you get the best guys in L.A. to come play for... It's because they want to play. Musicians have to play. You have to do comedy.
What made you make the jump here?
Well, I knew if I was going to stay in Youngstown, I was just going to end up playing clubs the rest of my life, probably. Not that we didn't have great music there.
And I love Youngstown.
Oh, it's a great
I
city.
love Youngstown.
Yeah,
I think
you've
it's
been there.
Yeah, I think it's well, it's a great time. You can put a bet in anywhere.
Yeah.
You can play some bet at church.
Yeah,
You go to
that's
church. Your father, come here.
Yes, you
Let me
can.
get the Browns, $10.
Yes,
All
you
right, the
can.
line's 13. You're
Yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah.
You can put a bet. Youngstown is the gambling capital of the fucking world.
Yeah.
There's more action goes to Youngstown, Ohio than anywhere else in the fucking country.
When you pull up to a nightclub, there's 99 cars in the parking lot, and there's 2 people sitting at the bar. Where do you think everybody is?
Yeah.
They're in the back. Everybody's doing it. You know?
Youngstown's where the Hall of Fame is.
No, that's in Canton.
Canton.
I'm sorry, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is in
In Cleveland, where's the football one?
Canton.
Okay.
Canton, yeah. Because apparently that area is where football started, you know. I think, if I'm correct, the Detroit Lions were started in Youngstown, Ohio. Somebody
crazy.
told me that. Yeah, so that's why it's there.
And then you came out to L.A.
Yeah, I got, I just wanted to lift it up. I did the college thing. I followed my mother's advice and did the,
What'd you major in?
industrial arts, psychology, and just mildly in music. I wasn't really educated in music at that point. It was later on that
Now, you
came.
read music and everything.
I
to
do
that.
now, because
Okay.
when I came to LA, I got my ass kicked. Yeah, I
What
got my
happened?
ass handed to me. Well, you would get on a session and I was a pair of eyes. I couldn't read the stuff, Some days you have to read fly shit. Some days you don't have to read anything. It's whole notes, but I just wasn't competent at that. And then I really wanted to be a session guy because that was very fashionable, and I was getting more into jazz. I actually became a jazz snob, and that's all I wanted to play until my friends opened up for Foreigner, and I went down there. I said, "What the fuck's the matter with me? I don't want to play rock and roll. That's crazy." That's where I started. So I dropped the jazz thing, and I didn't drop it, but I lowered it down and got way back into rock.
Now, when you picked up the jazz bass, did you have a stand-up bass, or did you?
No, that kind of came afterwards too. I
Really?
really concentrated on the electric bass, and that was kind of my thing. But then I realized if I wanted to get more work, I better get into the upright. So I kind of took that up and studied with some people.
Now, for guys like me, let's say you went on the road with Led Zeppelin.
Mm.
Would there be any situation for you to put on a big stand-up bass? Would it make a difference
Yeah,
in the sound?
Yeah.
In which way?
yeah, it would definitely make a
Like,
difference.
would Dazed and Confused be different today if
Oh,
you
my
used the
God.
stand-up bass?
A Dazed and Confused would be amazing on upright bass.
Real? Why?
Well, just the nature of the bass. It has a different voice. Electric bass has a very, excuse me, it has a very focused kind of sound, where the upright bass is more of a bigger, rounder sound, a little bit warmer tone. Any kind of fretless instrument is going to speak differently than a fretted instrument.
How would a standing bass do in an arena, though?
Well, I mean,
You mic it?
yeah,
just like anything
you
else?
mic it, yeah, You mic
Okay.
it just like anything else, and it translates. If you got a great mixer, you can mix anything,
I would love to see something like that. Some guy bringing an electric bass out and fucking.
Oh, they do it all the time. They do it routinely. If you see Rod Stewart, if you see Barry Manilow, if you see any of these guys, it's kind of like a normal thing to have happen.
Who are your rock influences?
My biggest influence would definitely be John Paul Jones.
Seriously?
John Paul Jones and James Jamerson at the same time. Because
shit.
when I grew up, that's the kind of stuff that you could, you had that vast area to deal from, to pick from, because those were the songs that were on the radio. So you could be an R&B guy, especially growing up in Youngstown. It was all about soul music and, that culture mixed in with this rock that started to get introduced into it, And then a guy like John Paul Jones, he is an R&B bass player in a rock performance, I think.
What does an R&B bass player have an advantage over a rock bass player?
Funkier.
Funkier. It's a little funkier.
Yeah, a little bit more rhythmic, probably. Listen to Ramble On, okay, by Zeppelin. That's a total James Jamerson bass line.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really funky.
I listened to the Brothers Johnson a
Oh, I
couple
love
weeks
those guys.
ago.
They were so
I
great.
mean, nobody remembers the Brothers Johnson.
I sure do. Louis Johnson's badass.
Sticky Fingers and Lightning Licks or something they call those two.
yeah.
Are they still around?
No, Louis passed.
Both of them
years ago.
passed?
I'm not sure both are passed, but Louis is.
One of them was at the Comedy Store one night, years
Oh, yeah?
ago, 15 years ago. He was friends with the door guy, and he came
Yeah.
in, and I was like, I had your album and all that. Because I transformed through the same thing. I grew up in a Cuban house, so
Yep.
I saw stand-up bass,
Yeah.
and then I got into R&B. I was into the Fonny All-Stars and all
Okay.
that stuff, that Latin salsa stuff like that. And he's
Fantastic.
Bobby Valentine.
Oh, yeah.
Is his name. He's interesting because he was really
He was
I
great.
think he was a percussionist, and they turned him into a bass player or something. I don't know, something weird.
Yeah.
And then I joined the band, and they said, pick up the bass. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So all we would do is cover Beatles songs. We basically covered Help, the whole album.
This is
Help.
not a stand-up bass at that point.
No, this was the fucking thing. And
Yeah.
we had to get rid of the singer because he was a dickhead. And then,
Lead singer
and
disease,
then
right?
I still had the kid voice, the Michael Jackson voice, but had
Yeah.
the cracks.
Right.
So now I was a bass player. I got serious about it. And then I went to Pastor Music big time music store in Union City, New Jersey. If you ever did the Garden, they send you to Pasteur to get all your licks. And I saw Greg Allman there when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, all the
Just
pictures.
hanging out?
He was there with Cher. That's how young I was. I was about 8. I was walking, I saw him. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ!
Yeah.
Like, and I took bass playing on like the 3rd floor, but the band broke up. So for a year, I took bass lessons, pretty much reading music and stuff. But then there was no band to pick me up. Like, I knew different things, but it was like, I didn't even know how to get into a band. Basketball came. I think I ate somebody's pussy. And the dream of being a bass player went down.
That was it, huh?
That was it.
Yeah, I didn't know you played.
I couldn't tell you what I was doing. Like, it was like a year.
Yeah, well, you had
After
fun
I
with
quit.
it, right?
Yeah, I would go up there. The guy was a good guy.
Yeah.
He let me play along to music, and I'd bring like Earth, Wind, and Fire in, and the early stuff. That's the way of the world, because I liked
Oh, Verdine White is a
that
badass
funk.
too.
I liked the
Funk.
Brothers Johnson. I liked. There was just so many. There's something about the bass that you don't know it's good till you're listening to it. Like, you know,
That's very true.
There was something I was listening to the other day in the car. And I'm like, listen to that fucking bass line.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's American Band or
Grand Funk?
American Woman, one of those two.
Probably American Band.
Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, there you go.
boom,
That's
boom,
American
boom,
Woman.
boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. Just tremendous shit
Yeah.
that the ear doesn't really usually go to. I usually go to the bass.
You go to the bass.
I love the lead guitarist, but I go to the bass.
Well, lead guitar always tends to take prominence, right? But do yourself a favor. Go listen to a Beatles record from the other room and let the bass come through the wall where it takes out all that top end stuff and you're listening to the bass. Listen to the voice of that and all the different bass lines and how melodic McCartney plays. That's the best way to listen to a Beatle record. To me.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic.
Was McCarthy that good of a bass player?
Amazing. His parts. He's not a chops guy. He's not like Stanley Clarke or Jaco Pastorius, but the parts that he came up with are just beautiful.
I liked him more with the Wings.
You liked him with Wings?
Yeah, I liked his bass more with the Wings than I heard it with the Beatles. With the Beatles, it was very generic, his bass. With Wings, I think he picked it up a little bit. He had to play louder because his wife sang badly. Do you remember?
Well, there was that.
Do you remember when they took away the music and just let his wife sing? And it was just horrible. They were trying to throw thunder at her, and they were breaking light bulbs behind her.
Which is worse, her or Yoko?
That's a toss-up.
Yeah, I was going to say
That's
that's
a
probably
toss.
on par, right?
No, I like her. If you went to a common American today, like a 50-year-old that grew up in between the Wings and the Beatles, and you said, listen, you got one gun, one bullet.
Which one are you going to
You
go
got
with?
Yoko or Linda McCarthy. I think 10 out of 10 would shoot Yoko. Like, everybody hated Yoko. I've never met a Yoko Ono fan, and I feel horrible. They blame her for the Beatles. They blame her for bad music.
Yeah.
They blame her for putting the Malouk on fucking John Lennon. She was walking behind them. Everybody knows if you're Chinese, you got to walk in front of me. Don't walk behind me. You fuck. That's bad luck. You ever go to a blackjack table? You're up 10,000. All of a sudden, you're losing. Look behind you. There's always a smiling Chinese guy thinking it's the year of the dragon. Meanwhile, you're going for your fucking lungs. If she would have been walking behind him, maybe she would have got shot in the fucking head.
Isn't that the nature of the culture, though?
Everybody hates Yoko Ono. And the kid she's got, he's second on the list.
Sean?
Sure, no, not the one that, the cokehead that came out after
Oh,
he.
Jesus.
Remember the one came out from the Lost Diaries? Oh. Like, once he died, one came out that was his twin.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here by the river, and he sounded like him. And then he started snorting coke, and the tour got canceled.
Oh.
There's that one. Then there's the one that looks like a white family adopted him. Like, he's one of those Chinese-looking kids. Like, a white family adopted him. They gave him a nice haircut. You know, like the Chinese guy in 16 Candles.
Kind of white.
What was the Chinese guy in 16 Candles? What's his name? Hung. And they would always hit the thong every time they'd say his name.
That's a whole different deal, man.
Yeah, Gary Watanabe? Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, Gary Watanabe, whatever.
Oh,
his
my
fucking
God.
name.
You're totally on it, man. You look up everything.
He's the man. He's the
great.
man.
So we've had a few bass players on. We've had Rudy. We've had
Rudy Sarzo?
Yeah, Sin come on, and they've all said something similar to what you said, that like it's almost like music was a part of them.
Yeah.
So with Joey, like I played violin for a year in fourth grade.
Don't tell that to nobody.
No.
Don't tell that to nobody.
I know it's embarrassing, but like, do you think you can? Is music something you can teach to people, or do you think it's just something that you're born with and you find?
Yeah, you can teach it. You actually can teach it. I like to go teach at grade schools and stuff like that. I teach these kids first, second grade. Teach them scales.
But can they be like pros like you? Could they like?
Not everybody can do that. I think you have to have a certain aptitude.
Every 3 fucking days, there's a kid online playing Tull. The other day there was a half black kid playing fucking something. I'll tell you what. As a kid, how I made money was I get conga drums.
Yeah.
And I'd put them in my mom's bar, and I'd play conga drums to Spanish music. And I learned how to play the conga drums. And people would go, the kid's got an ear.
Right.
And little did I find out my uncle is from Glendale, my mother's brother. And he had a band. He opened up for Eartha Kitt, but they opened up for the Stones in 70-something.
That's crazy.
So he played the conga.
It's in your blood, man.
And then my cousins in Cuba now have the national touring band. She just was at South by Southwest. They did an article about her in Time. She's about to, she's got a default, whatever they fucking call it.
Yeah.
She's got to come over because she's about to bust a bank here.
Yeah.
But I always have the attitude towards music. One of the scariest things in my world is the guitar.
How so?
I know if I pick up a guitar, everything else will fall to the wayside.
In your life?
Yes. I love the guitar.
You'll get consumed with it.
I'll get overly consumed.
Overly consumed.
I have a very addictive personality, and that's something that I've been wanting to do. It's like being 13 and knowing you want to eat a chick's pussy. You just got to find a chick to let you. Then when you were 13, you're like, I can't wait to eat somebody's pussy. Maybe the babysitter, you start plotting, you start looking at your aunt's friend and shit. Like that's
nothing is sacred.
That's how nothing. I've always wanted to learn how to play like David Gilmour.
Buy the damn thing. Get it.
They have a starter kit at Guitar Center for
and Gilmour's a
$149.
great example.
Gilmour, I'm a Gilmour guy, Jimmy Page, and then I gotta throw Neil Giraldo in there.
Yeah.
You know that I've always loved Neil. His guitar solo in Precious Time, his guitar. I think one of Pat Benatar's best songs is "I'm Gonna Follow You."
Yeah,
From the second album.
That's killer.
The other side, the flip side, they had a video of it walking the streets late at night. His guitar work is sensational on so many things.
How about "Run Between the Raindrops"?
Oh my God,
that's the best. That's my favorite guitar solo that he plays.
He's done some work, and I don't think people ever looked at Neil like that. Well, she's a chick band. What's Neil know? Neil could rip your fucking hearts out. Neil could have replaced Randy Rhoads on Sabbath without batting a fucking eye, learned all his stuff and done it. Neil had it in him at that time.
That's why he was in Derringer's band, because he was a killer guitar player, and his solos are part of the composition. They're not just different every night. They're part of the song. When you hear Jesse's Girl, immediately it's him, and it sounds like Neil Giraldo all the time.
What's one song that Lee hates? Every once in a while, I'll spike him with acid or something. And I put on Hell is for Children. And his guitar work.
Yeah.
And Hell is for Children is second to none. Like the whole down, 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 how he underlines everything is just fucking brilliant. Now, how long you out here in L.A. kicking it before something happens?
Before we leave?
No, before something happened in your life.
Oh,
I know you went to the Institute of Music or something.
Yeah, I went to Dick Grove's finally. I came out here in '77, and oddly enough, I left Youngstown the same time that Myron Grumbacher did, because he and I were playing in a band in Pittsburgh.
Get the fuck out of here.
I grew up with Myron.
I had a friend called Otto, and every time he'd do acid, he looked like Myron Grumbacher.
So start jumping around on the drums with the
Myron, and he would lose it. I'm not fucking Myron.
You want to be Myron. He was cool.
Is Myron still around?
Yeah, he's still around.
Is he touring?
No, he's not playing right now. Okay. I mean, he might be doing stuff in town here, but he's not. He hasn't played with us. We had the 30th anniversary tour, and he played with us.
Okay.
But he decided to take a break from the road, and but he and I were, grew up in Youngstown. We left the same time. He went to New York. I said, I'm not going there. It's cold weather. I want to go out to L.A. We're making a bunch of records out there. I'm going to join, I don't know, the Eagles, Led Zeppelin, whoever the hell I could fall in with, had all these high aspirations. So I came out here and I kicked around for a long time, and then I started going, hanging out at Dick Grove's School of Music, and started playing in the faculty fusion band. So Dick became my friend. He says, let me give you an education here. Come in, and learn. So I did. And that was composition and arranging, because I had a certain amount of facility on the bass, but then I got really serious about studying the bass and practicing 12 hours a day and stuff like that. And I started getting better gigs.
And what was like your first big gig?
My first big gig. Well, the first time I went out on the road for a little while was with Lisa Hartman.
No shit.
Lisa Hartman. It was a great band. Carmen Grillo was in it. Jack White was playing drums for
Get
Rick
the
Springfield.
fuck out of here.
Yeah. Phil Chanel was in it. Sterling Smith was in it. Yeah, it was a really good band,
How old are you now?
I'm not telling you.
Not now. At this time when you're with Jack fucking White,
I'm 13 now.
No.
But let's see. I don't know. I guess it was about 23.
Yeah,
something
you're
like
in a
that.
room with Jack fucking White.
Yeah.
Like, how do you act?
Well, we just took it for granted, I mean,
Unfucking believable.
he wasn't doing anything yet either, We were just like up and coming cats.
Oh, okay. I thought he was Jack White already.
No, this is not the Jack White, the artist Jack White.
Okay.
This is the drummer Jack White.
Okay.
Same name, but different drummer. And so all of us were just coming up and, we're just starting to get gigs and get better ones and stuff like that. And you just keep working your way up the ladder and stay dedicated. You're not going to get it unless you just friggin' focus on it, man.
What year is this?
This is 78.
And where are you hanging at night in those days?
There was many places to hang. There was Josephina's. Anybody could walk in there. Al Jarreau used to walk in. I mean, God, it was crazy stuff. There was, remember the Sold Out? Well, you were not here then. The Sold Out was like a soul club down on Sunset. It had great music. Of course, the Troubadour. Tom Waits used to hang out there all the time. When I first got here, it was crazy. About 1978, 79, I got in this fusion band called the Wunder Band. And we played at the Troubadour. And it was like high-energy fusion stuff. And we were the first band to actually have a spotlight there, except for Elton John. This was music that used to keep me up at night because it was taxing shit. I never played a samba in my life. I'm from Youngstown, Ohio. What do I know about a samba? But I had to learn all this high-energy stuff, and that's what kind of fueled me into, becoming educated and branching out and spreading my wings a little bit. Some people have a certain aptitude. This young man, I mean, from the day he came out of the womb, he would sit down and play the drums. He'd play with sticks on a briefcase with the cartoons that he was watching. So he's about not even 2 years old, and he's starting to drum. So I just knew he was a natural-born drummer.
Is he drumming today?
He's a fantastic drummer.
Tremendous.
I'm proud to say it. If he sucked, I would say that too, but he's a great drummer.
I'm on the Rogan podcast one day, and we're talking about music, and they're talking about all these drummers, and I go, fuck, he's all.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Terry Bozzio that'll eat all their fucking lunch. And people are like, who? And that night I got home, and the guy, kid hit me up. He was like, that's my fucking father.
Oh, yeah?
So we put him on the podcast, and we just talked.
Terry's
Bozzio.
kid?
That was when we did the S, and he went to outer space.
Yeah.
Oh,
if
man.
you ever type up Lee in outer space, you'll see Bozzio playing the drums over here.
Oh, he's so funny. I love Bozzio.
I love all that shit.
Yeah.
Like what I miss the most. When people go, oh, you miss New York. Oh, I miss the pizza. I miss the bagels. No, I don't miss the fucking pizza, the bagels. I miss the garden, and I miss the Nassau Coliseum, and I miss the Meadowlands, which was 20 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
That's not what I miss. I miss when Mick calls me and says, hey, you doing anything tonight? There's a little dive bar called the Mint over on 78th on 3rd Avenue. Pat's going to be down there tonight with Mick. I think Slash is going down there.
Yeah.
And you would catch these impromptu little $15, and you'd sit there. Like, I remember being at the Village Gate 20 years ago doing stand-up. And as I was walking up, Eric Clapton was walking in, and I'm like,
that's the shit.
What are you, 1993? I'm like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
He goes, nice to meet you, too. And I shook his hand, and I saw him.
How cool is that?
My God. And then I was going to an audition one day, and he was at the Light on Hollywood. No, Santa Monica and like Vine. I was walking across the street to an audition, And I saw him, it was Eric Clapton, and I go, knock, and he's like, not right now. He looked at me, and I go, Village Gate, 1993, and he goes, how you doing?
You got his attention then.
He remembered.
Yeah.
He remembered. You
Isn't
know,
that great?
That's what I liked. Yeah, forget about anybody could go see a fucking show.
Right.
I want when Mick called me, he goes, listen, I'm getting together with some guys. Come over, it's a $10 cover.
Yeah.
I know the bartender. And you go there, and all of a sudden Charlie Watts would come in and be playing the piano, or Stanley Clarke would come in and join you.
Right.
That's what I miss. I miss that type.
That's hard to find, man.
That's not anymore.
That's once in a lifetime. I was standing in, I just got done playing a gig with the Fifth Dimension, and I was in Memphis, and I went to B.B. King's
What
Club.
year was this?
Oh, this had to be probably 89, something like
Now
that.
this is the Fifth Dimension. Up and away.
Up and Away. Great songs,
My
man.
beautiful.
It was a fun gig, man.
So how do you go from playing that to Benatar? But we'll get to that later.
It's you're playing the same notes. You want to play for this song. Okay, Jim Webb songs are probably some of the best songs you'll ever play in your life. Burt Bacharach songs. Every time I played One Less Bell, I would get the chills.
She's
I've got
coming
the
in
chills
next.
right
She's
now.
coming in next week.
Is that right?
His violinist.
The violinist. Okay.
She lives right around the corner here.
Really?
And she's on tour with Bert or the other guy. It's either Bert or
Who's the
Paul
other?
Anka.
Oh, Paul Anka.
She's
yeah.
either
Paul Anka's working all the time.
Yeah, she's with Anka.
These guys are in their
Either
80s.
or.
They're in their 80s.
I see her tweets and I'm like, you know, she's out at fucking theaters with
Yeah.
Paul Anka and
Yeah.
fucking, you know. So I guess he opens up for both of them.
Yeah.
She goes from Burt Bacharach and, you know, Paul Anka, who didn't he write a song for?
Oh, Jesus. That
Who
guy's-
didn't he tell, cut your hair, you'll do a lot better? I heard 1,000 stories like that. He told what's his name to cut his hair. Next day the guy became Elton John or something. Like, he was
Yeah.
one of those guys.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely a heavy influence.
Yeah,
on
he's a
people,
heavy
you know?
influence.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to tell you the story about. I'm standing there in the club, and who comes in but the Stones? Bobby Keys, Charlie Watts, Woody, and Keith Richards. They're all on stage. All of a sudden, they're on stage. Jagger wasn't there, but they're just jamming on songs. I mean, to have that happen to you, and out of nowhere, was just amazing.
And where was this?
This was at B.B. King's in Memphis.
Memphis. Okay, yeah, right.
Memphis.
I heard that
Yeah.
they did all that crazy.
Right. They just walked in. They were on stage in a minute. I mean, I was getting chills. It was just great.
And what were they playing?
Oh, they were just jamming.
Jamming.
Yeah, they were jamming.
No.
No specific song or anything like that. But, you know, it was 4/5 of the Stones, man.
And what year was that?
That was probably about, I'm thinking, early 90s, late 80s.
Were they still recording down there in Alabama? They didn't do much work down there, did they?
I don't know how much work
What's the
they
name of
did
that
then.
studio?
Muscle Shoals?
Muscle Shoals.
Yeah.
I think it was Mobile.
I think Muscle Shoals was prior to that.
prior to
That goes
okay.
back a minute, I think.
Yeah, they came over. I think when early on, before they had their work visas or something.
Yeah.
They used to have to just go to Muscle Shoals or one of those.
They didn't
two
have enough
studios.
money to
Something
buy
crazy,
the visas, right?
Something craziness, something like this.
Couldn't buy
So
your
you're
way
in
in.
LA, you're kicking it around.
I'm kicking it around for a long time, and just starting to get better gigs, little stuff like that, and then you start getting into the more touring, session-y kind of guy, but at that time there was so much work. I mean, there was casual work, what they call casuals. You know what they are? They're just like gigs that you go do, and put guys together. You just show up and you all play the songs because you know a bunch of songs, and that's what they are. But then I started getting more serious about it and really aiming for the session thing and, trying to get on tours because as a sideman, you could make great money at that point. Not like it is today. It's, like everything is. The budgets have gone down, so you don't make the same kind of dough. But, it was just an interesting time. There was so much music going on and you could just work your ass off. I would do 60 gigs in December, in a month.
Just session work.
Session work, live work, Yeah. So there was a lot of work back then. And then I started getting more into the touring thing. And then I got the call it was funny, right after the earthquake, I was on my hands and knees.
94?
In 94, yeah. I'm on the kitchen floor repairing my floor because it was damaged from the earthquake. And the phone rings, and it's Neil Giraldo. And it was back in the days of call waiting. So I get a call. He says, "Excuse me 1 second, can you hold on?" And I got a call to go out with Jethro Tull at the same time. So I go from no work to two really good offers. And my wife at the time was pregnant with this young man. And I thought, well, the family thing is probably a better situation for me, and the Ohio connection, because Myron was still in the band. Neil's from Parma, Ohio. And I said, that looks really attractive to me. So went out and did the audition, I think 3 times. And then it comes time to meet Patty, and she walks in. She goes, let me see your socks. So I show her my white socks. She goes, you're from Ohio. You're in the band. That was my audition.
What was your connection to Jethro Tull at that time? How did you get
Dylan Perry. Dylan Perry was the drummer at the time.
And you were friends with him?
I was friends with him.
And that's the advantages of just doing session work.
Yeah, just getting tied in with
people. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
How had you met Neil before that?
I only met Neil one time. What was the club in the valley that, Pelican's Retreat. Used to have great music out there. So that was quite a musician's hang in Calabasas. So I met Neil because, Myron's association with me and stuff. So I had met him before, but they really wanted a girl because they wanted a real high vocal and stuff, and they ended up with me.
What happened to Roger Capps?
He's around.
What's he doing?
He's playing bass in bands. Yeah.
He just
keeps
didn't
in
want to
touch
tour
with me.
with Pat or whatever. No.
Well, I think they just had sort of a changing of the guard because they had, a few bass players after that, some New York session-y kind of guys, came into the band for a while, Fernando Saunders, and he was Lou Reed's guy. And, so they had some different players for a while. And then when they wanted to come back, I guess I kind of got in the mix, and that's how I ended up being there. That was 25 years ago.
How many albums have you done with it?
Probably about 6.
No shit.
Yeah.
What a job to get, huh?
Yeah.
Especially in this day and age where it's not a lot of music is coming out mainstream.
Yes.
All these older bands are just raking it up,
You got to be in a legend act, yeah.
If you want to work 7 nights, it's out there. They have nostalgia acts, bands, and a couple of years ago, I hosted at the Hollywood Bowl for Groove is in the Heart. I don't even know who the fuck it was. It was 4 disco bands or some shit.
Yeah.
This had to be 15 years ago. And I was like, wow, look at all these people here. I thought it was, shoot my broken arrow through my heart.
Okay.
Whatever they were fucking called. It was like them. The chick who sang If I Can't Sang You, If I Can't Have You, I Don't Want Nobody.
Oh, yeah.
Baby.
What's her name? Jesus.
The Go-Go's?
The Go-Go's, yes.
The Go-Go's. And I went down there, the little cute chick from the Go-Go's was there, and I walked up with her, and I remember going, who the fuck's going to come see the Go-Go's?
Yeah.
It was packed.
It's unbelievable.
It was packed.
We've toured with them.
And I had Kid here, and Kid and Play was telling me that he goes on those soul things. It's 3 songs apiece.
Yeah.
Him, SWV. They only had 3 songs anyway.
Right.
That's all you need.
I just did that in January.
What'd you do?
Oh, geez, who did we do? Blue Magic, the Shy Lights.
I saw you had the Shy Lights on your resume. I saw you had Keith Emerson on your resume.
Oh, yeah, I did quite a bit with Keith. That was a lot of
Keith
fun.
doing these days?
Keith passed away.
Did he really
Yeah,
pass?
he's been gone.
You know what kills me about Emerson, Lake, and Palmer? That I don't judge a man by his money. I don't judge a man by what he drives. I don't judge a man if he beats his woman. I don't give a fuck. I look through your record collection. And when I was a kid, if you didn't have brain salad surgery, you gave the cup of corp or whatever back to the mother.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mom, for giving me that. And you told him to go for you. You had to have Led Zeppelin too.
You got to.
You had to have. There were certain albums, Aqualung,
Yeah.
Double Live Gonzo. Like you had to have the Beatles. Not everything before fucking they didn't smoke dope. When they were walking around like the 12 Commandments, I don't want those Beatles. I want the ones after they met the Hindu. When Tomorrow Never Comes, Tomorrow Never Knows, and all that. Like that was, I don't even know what I was talking about.
The deeper shit.
The deepest shit. That's what I really.
That's what you go for.
That's what I really fucking go for.
Well, there's a lot of great stuff out there. I mean, my first concert was James Brown.
How good was he?
Oh,
I saw him.
Stupid good. I'm there with my white girlfriend, and we're the only 2 white people in the audience, but it was my first concert. My mom had to drive us there. I was so young. But from that, segueing into all this great rock music, and we had so many great rock bands in Ohio. I mean, the Human Beings and a lot of great bands, local talent, Glass Harp and stuff like that.
Chrissy Hine?
Yeah, she's from Alliance. Yeah.
I saw her, she did like 4 shows in New York. In the 80s, you just didn't go to New York. You went to the Garden. You were there.
Yeah.
So you did 2 at the Garden, 1 at the Meadowlands, 1 at the Coliseum, and then in the summertime they had that beach place.
Jones Beach.
Jones Beach.
Every time you play there, it rains.
Yeah, it rains.
It always rains.
She broke her leg.
She did.
Whoa.
She broke her leg on a Saturday. They canceled the show on August 4th, which was like a Monday.
Yeah.
And Tuesday they rescheduled the show. That bitch came out with crutches.
And did it.
Took the crutches, threw them into the audience, and said, let's fucking do this.
Yeah.
People were killing themselves. Like, they had never seen that.
Yeah.
And
She's from Ohio.
That's
She's badass.
that was 84. That was bum, bum, no, 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 no.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody, nobody's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Not even the perfect stranger. All that shit. Fucking tremendous.
Pretenders were bad.
I was at that show. The drummer was. I had seen them earlier in a smaller joint, and he would do shit with his drumsticks. He would point at you and hit the drum, and the stick would come to you. You catch it out of the air and shit. Wow. It was some crazy. It's changed so much over the years.
It's changed crazy, man.
But after I started talking to you, I started watching her performances, and you know, from this last tour, there's a couple people who did, Puerto Rican cassettes. It's not like fucking a normal camera guy. It's like some chubby chick eating a corn. You could hear her eating the corn and fucking, yeah.
She's back there chomping.
I love this song. Yeah. You better run. Pieces of corn are flying out of her mouth. What was the last album you put out with Pat?
I think our last record, well, we've done a couple live ones, so it's not all been studio stuff.
Okay.
But the last one that we did, Summer Vacation, was, I forget what year it was, and we did Go. That was around 2001. And we've had some releases, like Access video releases and things like that, but we haven't really done a proper studio record for a long time.
How do you feel?
How do I feel about the Benatar situation?
About your life.
My life? I'm blessed. Are you kidding? I got 2 great kids. I get to play music for a living. I've kind of segued not out of music into pizza, but pizza gives me a lot of satisfaction. It's a fun factor that doesn't exist in a lot of places. It's pretty. Pizza people are fun, man. They like to have parties. They like to rock. They're like rock stars. This guy that I study with, Tony Gemignani, I call him the Jimi Hendrix of pizza. I used to call him Mick Jagger, but that's a little old for him because he's a young guy. But the guy is just like nonstop, and he's the best pizzaiolo in the world if you like his style of pizzas, So he's done a lot for me. I feel blessed to be able to have these 2 careers to bounce around back and forth. Of course, it drives you nuts because you're busy all the time. And you're always taken up and consumed with something. And my kids are getting older now, so I don't have to do as much child rearing as I once did. But I'm blessed, man, and I'm still alive.
Is that shot? You was before the show. We were talking about. Lee was saying about wills and stuff like that. For people to understand, when you hit 50, you get hit with a dose hard of reality the first week.
Yes, you do.
Like after you blow out the candles, happy birthday, and
Yeah.
you're 50, and it's fun. You start going, you know what? I'm on the other side.
Yeah.
I'm
Got a
on the
lot
other-
more behind you than you do in front
I have
of
a
you.
lot behind me, and life becomes a little different. You look at it through a one-eyed telescope now. My big pet peeves in life is my time. I can't believe how I've changed my time the last 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Even before Mercy, I think once I stopped doing the drugs, my time really became valuable to me. Something that I had no concept of when I was 21. Because when you're 21,
You can't
I got all the
understand.
time in the world. But you know what? You really fucking don't. You really fucking don't.
No, it's a surprise.
It's a fucking surprise.
Yeah.
You're like, you know what? I ain't gonna go down there. I'll learn how to be a baker next year. And next year doesn't come. You get into you fall, and now you got a fucking hump for a leg, and now you can't be a baker. Now you got to be a fucking singing operas. It's just you appreciate time. When people call you up and they go, "Hey, hi, I'm having a party for my 40th birthday in Santa Monica." Well, you're gonna spend it by yourself, bitch, because I ain't got an hour to drive down and an hour to back with your creepy little fucking friends to sit around with hats and wish you're gonna throw yourself a birthday party. Get the fuck out of here.
Check, please. I gotta go.
Check. So
I gotta go.
You look at your time, and we begin. You said it yourself. I mean, you tell your son the pizza parlor when you cack, because it becomes a reality. I love to give my wife a stab in the morning. I can't no more because the highest time to get a heart attack is between 5:30 in the morning and lunchtime. I stick to those statistics.
Is that right?
The high after you turn 50,
Yeah.
the most vulnerable you are to a heart attack is between 5:30 in the morning and lunchtime. That's why I don't go jumping up and down at 8. When people call you up, help me with this bureau. Go fuck yourself. I'll see you at 12:15. Once I get out of the earthquake zone, then I'm out.
Right.
Come help me lift it. Go lift it yourself. Call the fucking go to Home Depot. There's 2 guys there for the small 50 and a pizza from Parma to help you out. But it's so weird how you start looking at those things. And yeah, I go box at 9. I go lift weights at 10, the heavy fucking weights.
Mm-hmm.
But you start looking at those things. You know, when my mother died, it was a party. My mother died. We have a $500,000 account waiting for you. When my mother died,
Nothing.
there was nothing. There was no will.
Yeah.
Which meant my father got the money and he was my stepfather. He got everything.
You got
So
nothing.
I learned about life the hard way. Yeah, I got nothing. He threw me out of the house. That was it. No social because she didn't work under her real name. She worked under an alias. She would have drove Trump crazy.
I think everything drives me crazy. Don't worry about it.
You know, you have to start thinking about your kids.
You have to.
And you have to leave them a certain knowledge, not to fall apart. That's why you bring it up.
Right.
Because, hey, dog, it's like this. You can just get off the phone with them. What are you doing? Nothing. I'm over here. I just had a fucking, the sausage is giving me heartburn.
Yeah, you got
Let me take a shit and I'll call you. Next thing you know, there's an ambulance at your dad's house. God forbid. The sausage was a little heart attack because that happened to my buddy, Carmine Balzano. He called me. When I went to call him back, his
He's
son
gone.
answered and said he died. He must have called you 5 minutes before he had a heart attack in the bathroom. You don't take nobody for granted. When you look at your kids, when I think of my story, that's why I write something like Sons of Anarchy. I write something for my daughter every day in that notebook. So if something happens to me, before you tell her that I took your baseball and sold it for 2 8-balls, she's going to read about it first.
She's going to know firsthand.
Next time you
from
see
Dad.
fucking Mick and he tells you about that I stole his 2 bass guitars and sold them for an 8-ball, tell
rat
him he's
bastard.
lying. I got a half ounce of coke in front of the 8-ball. No, but I'm just saying that we speak like this. We really,
That's right.
So guys like you and I are fucking super fortunate to even be walking around. How many musicians do you know
Oh, that are gone?
that you went to, never mind gone, that did 1 too many hits of coke, 1 too many drumsticks to the head,
Yeah.
and now they're walking around like Steven Adler.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot. The
There's a
attrition
lot-
rate is high.
There's a lot more of those guys than what there is guys like your
Yeah.
father. 50s, successful. I mean, he's not Led Zeppelin with a fucking plane getting
No,
your
I don't
dick
have that
sucked,
kind of
sticking a
success.
shark up some chick's pussy. But you're working. Yeah, Led Zeppelin stuck a shark up some chick's pussy.
Jesus.
Is that right?
A little baby shark.
A little baby shark.
Oh, right now.
Which end first?
There's probably a dildo
Right
called the
now,
shark now.
as it stands, 2 of the guys from Led Zeppelin would have been thrown in jail today.
Oh,
There's a rumor that it's well known. Jimmy Page traveled with a 16-year-old on the road for
Yes.
years. For years, 16.
Yeah.
And somebody, I think Gonzo, the drummer, had another issue also. He liked little fucking girls that were young. That was looked over when you were. In fact, if you read Keith Richards, that's why it's so weird that you guys did live albums. Because if you read Keith Richards' book, 1 chapter is divided to what happened to the live album and show. You know, in the 70s, everybody had a live album. It started with Peter Frampton,
Sure.
Thin Lizzy,
Peter Frampton live.
in Yucatan. What was that? Cheap Trick live in Budokan.
Oh, Jesus, yeah, man.
Well, everybody wanted to go to fucking Japan. Judas Priest, Unleashed in the East.
Right.
Everybody was releasing these live albums, and all of a sudden, you see Rihanna releasing a live album? Good luck. You see fucking Britney Spears releasing a live album?
Because you got to do it. You can't fix it.
They said they forgot that the industry got so technical that they forgot how to wire a drum.
Right.
That's why I asked you about the bass.
Yeah.
Are there still people that bring out a big bass?
Yeah,
just
you
in
can do
case?
that. Well, technology is your friend as well. I mean, drum machines and things like that. I used to hate them in the 90s because bass players were losing all kinds of work to synthesizers and drummers were losing the work to the drum machine. But they're a tool for you to use. That you can blend them into your music and they can help you in a lot of ways. But it doesn't have. It shouldn't mean the demise of performance and learning how to play. There's
you
no
play the
substitute.
organ also because of John Paul Jones?
No, I wish I had. My mom used
Really?
to always say, "I wish you would take piano lessons. Why don't you play the organ? Why don't you do this?" I go, "Ma, I just want to play the guitar. I want to be in the Beatles. I want to be in that. I want to do that." So I wish now that I had that knowledge, but
Yeah, when he's doing no quarter at the Garden.
oh man,
And he's playing the synthesizer, and he's fucking
that's
doing the
shit.
bass, and you're looking at him with his little Bo Peep haircut.
Yeah.
Because he had that fucked up little Bo Peep haircut. There's a...
We all had some weird dudes. Going
my
back
God.
there. When you look at those album covers, there's some stuff.
One thing about me is this is the same do I had in 78.
Yeah.
I've never changed hairdos. This is it. Gel, comb it back, and that's it.
That's a good way to go.
That's it. I never had time to spikes.
Yeah.
I never hung out with punk rockers. This is it. My hairstyle has not changed since day one. Since
Once the
70s.
damn shag went out, that was it for me. Just
I was like
grease
a
it
half
back
a fact. I was 13. I had the line in them over here like Dick Van Dyke.
Oh yeah,
But Dick Van Dyke wasn't getting pussy. You know what I'm saying?
he probably is now.
Jimmy, he's about 100. He needs 22 Viagra's. That poor bastard.
Hey, I didn't tell you, Led Zeppelin was my second concert.
Really?
Yep.
Where?
James Brown, Cleveland Public Hall.
What did you think? What year?
I was
what year? What
blown
album?
away. That was must have been '69 probably. So only the first record was out, and they opened up with the Immigrant Song, and I never heard it. And there I am at a big concert. I'm a young kid, and I had a camera, and I was shaking like a leaf. I was standing in front of the stage, and here I'm hearing and all this shit, and man, it just killed me. I was just so blown away. $6.50. $6.50.
Who opened for them? Nobody went to see
Nobody
the opening
did.
band in those days.
Nobody did. I don't think they had an opening act at that point. I think it was just them.
So now you're touring, you do the music,
Yeah, touring, doing the
and
music.
one day you say, you know what? I'm going to open up a pizza parlor.
Well, I always loved pizza. Growing up in Youngstown, there's a pizza parlor on every corner.
Every corner,
and it's
right.
all good. You know
Right,
the
right,
food
yeah.
in Youngstown. Talk about calamad. Ala Capri has the best calamad that I've ever had. But anyway, it was just a great way to grow up, and all the pizza was great. I loved it. I loved the whole Sicilian tradition. My father passed when I was young, and that was the Irish side of me, but I didn't really know that side as much as I did the Sicilian side. So pizza was part of the deal, Sunday gravy at grandma's and all that. So I always had this romantic thing going with pizza. I love it. And then as I started to tour, you'd get some shit pizza, and then you get some really great stuff. And we call it bus lobster because it shows up far too often. And so I just started to think about it. And then what I found out through investigation was there was so much cool stuff going on out there that I started to go to the Pizza Expo and really get into it and become familiar with the guys that were the top dogs. And that's kind of what precipitated this. And then, part of getting older, as we said before, is you think in terms of a little bit more longevity and a legacy. And I'm probably not going to be as popular as, Mick Jagger in this lifetime. So what am I going to leave for my kids? And so it just kind of all melded together, and I got interested in it and started doing it. And then the boys are in it, so it's just like a shoe-in.
And who did you get to help you teach you how to make the pizza?
The pizza? I studied a lot with the guy, Tony Gemignani, I told you about. Learned a lot from him. But I've gone everywhere. I've studied with the Hunt brothers, who teach a Detroit style. Not necessarily teach. These guys are not all necessarily instructors. But they all have a great amount of knowledge. Michael Lamarck in Cleveland, Ohio. Great pizzaiola. There's just a ton of them. So I would go study with these guys because I'd meet them all on the road.
When
Because
you
I'm in
say
these
study,
cities.
you would go with them and make a few pizzas.
Yeah,
and bullshit,
I go to
drink
their
a
place.
beer. Yeah.
I'll go to their place for a couple days, and if they'll have me, I'll stand around and watch them make pizza. So I just kept going.
What style are you going for right now? Who out of all the styles?
Well, that's our thing. We're into a multiple style thing. So we do Sicilian, New York, Ohio, Detroit, Neapolitan. So we're into this multiple style thing. And I thought I invented it. So I'm looking around. Nobody's doing this because everybody wants the pizza that they grew up on. It's the best friggin' pizza on the planet. So I thought I was going to do that and invent it. And then I found this guy, Tony. And I approached him and said, "Hey, man, you stole my idea," and we became friends because of that. And so I'm into the multiple style.
Is Detroit good? I haven't tried it, but I've people been telling me about it recently. It's like a thick, kind of like crispy sort of.
Yeah.
It looks cool. I've never had it.
It's amazing because it's it's a medium thick crust, but it's got this caramelized cheddar cheese that comes down the sides and just like a toasted cheese sandwich, and then you got the mozzarella in the middle, and then the racing stripes of the sauce and everything, and then of course your toppings. But man, it's just a great style. It's light. It's not heavy. Like you think it's going to be a big heavy pizza. Sicilian can possibly be, but it's not a weight. It's not, because it's not bad if it's made properly. It's highly digestible food, and it's not like a sinker in your stomach. That's why when you eat this cheap stuff, you're going to feel like shit. When you eat better pizza, it's prepared properly, you're going to feel fine. You'll be fine. Why do you think they ate a whole pizza in Italy? They sit down with a knife and fork and eat the pizza. And they ate a whole pizza, Neapolitan pizza, because it's so well proofed and, made digestible. So there's a lot to learn.
I love pizza.
I know you do.
I'm a man on the move.
Come on.
The problem I have here is you're a man on the move. And, I'm going to go in. The guy's going to come up to me. I got to tell him what I want. He has to write it down, put it on a note. Then the pizza guy puts it in the oven. Then I go to my table and he brings me the pizza. I can't do that.
You want to come back in the kitchen and cook it?
No. I want the guy that I give the money to give me the fucking slice once and for all.
Give you the slice.
While I'm talking to him, he's going, "What do you want? 2 cheese." He's throwing them in, and he's talking to the guy next to me. "What do you want? 2 cheese. What do you want with those 2 cheese?"
Yep.
"I want a large Coke and some fucking
That's
Diet
old
Snapple."
school, man.
Ba, 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 ba. He rings you up. He takes your fucking dish out, rings this fucking guy up, and he's on a timer. He's on a timer in his mind. And all of a sudden, he looks at yours, he pushes it over, pushes this one to the side, closes the oven. He goes, "What do you think about those Knicks?"
Yeah.
And then you tell him they suck dick, they cost me $100. And then he turns around and he gives you your 2 fucking slices.
Yeah.
But I would go to a place in Hollywood where they had to give it to the fucking Mexican, and the Mexican had to run it back to the other Mexican, and then go back to Tijuana,
Yeah.
and then they'd fucking walk it back. That's not a slice. A slice is on the move. If I come to buy a pizza, then I sit down. But when I come in here for a slice, get 2 fucking plastic dishes, put them together, put the slice and fold it and just give it to me.
Right.
Do not put it in a bag. If you put it in a bag, a tree died because you put it in a bag. What are the chances of this pizza making it home? I'm 300 fucking pounds. What are the chances of this fucking slice making it home? Why are you giving me a fucking bag for?
I don't need it.
I don't need it.
I'm going to eat it right now.
That's right. It's like sushi.
Eat the damn thing
When I
out
go
of
eat
the oven.
sushi and I see people, "Hey, can I take this home?" Listen, come here. Go in the bathroom, there's Windex. Just drink that. Because that's what happens when you bring sushi home. It's made to eat right fucking there. The same. And I'm not saying a good fucking, like if I go to a pizza place, if I come in and he's making a fresh pizza, but there's a pie and it's got a fly on it and it's kind of petrified, I go, "Give me 2 of those." Because I want the
You're
one
digging
that I want the one that coagulated over there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's the slice.
That's
the
the
fresh one is
slice.
delicious.
Yeah.
But the one that coagulated overnight,
That's
that
right.
motherfucker's on fire.
Oh, yeah.
And
When that shit comes together.
Usually I don't eat pizza if I don't see an Italian.
That's true.
I'm very prejudiced against
true.
that. Listen, if you're Arab, I love you. Stick to hummus and baklava. Okay? I will never go in there and eat it. If you're Cuban, stick to Cuban food. Don't let me see you fucking making pizza. When I go-
Authenticity means something.
It
right?
means a lot
Yeah.
to me. I don't care if you pick your nose or scratch your ass. I eat the slice. If there's a hair in it, God bless you. I'll take it. God knows.
Give me another one.
God knows what's in your system. What are we talking about here? We're talking-
Pizza.
Pizza.
You don't eat it unless there's an Italian.
But I just, something I used to eat, there's only one guy I broke the exception. When I was a kid, there was a guy named Nick. Nick's Pizza. He was a Greek degenerate gambler.
Oh, there's something about the East Coast. All of them are owned by Greeks, right?
But this
That's
guy,
a lot.
this
Yeah,
was in
that's
the
a lot.
70s. He was the only Greek allowed in the fucking county. Okay, that's when this was the 70s, when 3 Italians would come busy and go, "Oh, your name ends with an S.
Yeah.
Sakanakanis?
Yes.
This is not happening no more. Next time you sell a slice, we light the place on fire.
Yeah. Lose
Unless
the
you
S
make-
and have the O.
Yeah, unless you make a partner in Italian. So it'd be Nick's and Joe's. Or something. I'm serious. Like, people would not go to your pizza place.
What's the place we saw on the way over here? It was Middle Eastern and pizza.
Yeah, no, I don't go.
Italian, right?
I got nothing against Middle Eastern people, but stick to what you know. Pick a flag.
Make the kibbeh,
Pick a flag.
That's something that's indigenous.
Pick a flag. No,
I'm lucky to get away with the last name, the Irish last name, but my mother's name is Jen.
No, I could tell that you have the thing in you. Like, even my brother, when I went home, he goes, I went to this sushi place one day, and I asked them about Japan, and they said they didn't know nothing about Japan, and they were Koreans, and I never went back again. I go, okay, I'm not the only one that feels this way, but
Absolutely.
Nick was a character. Nick would call me a spick to my face. He called everybody by that, and there was a kid who would buy a slice there and would go across the street to get a nice tea because it was a nickel cheaper. And Nick would run out and go, "You fucking Jew, go fuck yourself." He would yell at him, and he'd put his Sicilian by the window. So we called it the Sicilian International Airport because all the flies would come in and land. That was their that was their takeoff and runway.
Yeah,
that's where they would load up. You could see the other flies loading the guys up with cheese, and they would fly. And there was a fan right by it, so the flies had to get off the pie and then go through the fan without getting their hot head chopped off. Nick drove a hard bargain.
Yeah,
if you were a fly, you just weren't going to walk in there and eat his pizza. But he kept the Sicilian by the window, and I'd always go, "Nick, come on. Give me half price. There's been flies shitting on there all day." I'll take, fuck you, you fucking spick. One night I went in there with Quaaludes, and he stopped calling me spick. I was in there
because you fed him.
I was in there with 2 Quaaludes, and my buddy threw a whole thing of crushed red pepper at him.
Oh, shit.
He had a beard, and he would call him Humeni. My buddy had a beard, so he would call my Ayatollah Khomeini. And my buddy's like, "I'm fucking Italian, all right? Stop with the Ayatollah." And he threw a fucking red pepper thing at him.
Christ.
Oh, we were savages with Nick. And I remember I was like, I had puke all over my shirt. And every time he saw me after that, it was 1982, so he called me Belushi. He would say, you're going to die like Belushi.
You're going to die like Belushi.
I used to sell him all the hot gold. Anytime we robbed gold, I would sell it to him, and he'd look at it, and he'd look at me. "Are you sure this is gold speak?" "Yes, it is." And he'd look at it, 14 carat. "I give you $50. But he would take it, and he'd put it in an apron right behind the bathroom, and I would wait till he stock up. And then I'd ask him to use the bathroom, and I'd steal the jewelry back from him. And then I'd wait a week and come back, "Nick."
Resell them?
And he'd look at me and look at the ring and say, "I know this ring." He would sit there for an hour. "I know this ring."
That's recycling.
Oh my God, we used to torture Nick. He was such a degenerate gambler. He would just close. Like if there was a race at the Meadowlands in the afternoon, close. Be back in 1 hour.
You gotta go.
And he would come right back. Now, when I went to shoot the Soprano movie in New York, we shot in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, and the guys were like, "We're going to this pizza place this afternoon." But before we could go, the father still runs it. It's like the best pizza in Brooklyn. It's been there for
DeForest.
100 years. And the guy's
DeForest.
90 years
He's
old.
still there.
And he makes his own pizza. Does not let his sons touch the pizza.
He makes the pizza. The son walks the slice
right
out, or he'll walk the pizza out from the kitchen. The sister's at the counter, and Dom DeMarco is still standing there. It takes so long to get a slice. You can wait 2-3 hours.
But I heard that there's times he has to take a nap.
Oh, yeah?
Because he's so old.
Oh, he's got to be in his, 94, 95
94,
now.
95.
Yeah.
So you'll go there, and the thing says closed, and you'll see his 2 little feet hanging from one of the benches. He just decides to take a little
You gotta
nap.
go there, though. That's history. That's pizza
I know.
history.
We were going to go, but they said it's closed. We only had an hour for lunch. It was a half-hour drive.
Oh, yeah. No, you got to wait. You gotta have
So
time.
we were already up there. It's not like I was making the trek from Manhattan to Brooklyn, which is no big deal.
Yeah.
But we were shooting a movie. They were like, "Let's go to that pizza. It's a mile from here." And then the guy called back. He goes, "It's closed." We went on the set at 7 in the morning. We had a 2 o'clock lunch.
How cool was it doing Sopranos?
The movie?
Yeah.
The movie was David Chase.
That's cool.
David Chase.
Yeah, that's
was
cool.
something out of this world.
Yeah.
I'm going to his birthday party next week.
Are you really?
Yeah, they invited me to his birthday party, like his 80th or his 72nd
Very
or something.
cool.
You play the bass, but you love music. I saw somewhere that you did something with Prince. You
Yeah. Did some
arranged
arrangement
something for
stuff.
Prince and whatnot. You know, it's really weird when you walk into the room, and I've never thought, I mean, in the back of my mind, for me to survive as a man, I have to think in my head, I got the biggest dick in the room, you know. As soon as he stood next to me, I knew his dick was 2 feet bigger than mine.
Gandolfini?
No. I didn't do The Sopranos with Gandolfini. I did the prequel movie.
I get you.
I just shot it in May and April and June. But when you're with David Chase, you know that's where comedy ends. Like, you strive that hopefully in 50 years you'll get to that point, you know, musically. Like, how long have you been playing the bass for?
40-some years.
So 40-something years. Think about it when you're playing the bass on your 60th anniversary. I could basically turn the lights off, strap the bass behind your neck, and you can play it like that's what he is with comedy.
Yeah, that's where he's at.
You don't know that about him until you're around him. And then you watch the series again, and you go, why wasn't... Because I'm pushing for the line. He's not giving you that line. He's making you watch the visual to make it funny.
He's making you work.
He's making you work. Last week I went home. There's nights I go home and I go and write, and I'll throw on HBO to go and put on The Sopranos. And there was an episode last week when Junior's at the hospital, and he sees the chick, the old lady from the neighborhood, Chickie's wife, and he walks up, but he's supposed to sit in a chair. And he goes, I'm not sitting in a chair, I'm standing.
Oh, of course, yes.
And then all of a sudden some big black guy came on. He goes, Mr. Soprano. And he goes like this with his voice. He could have said 1,000 things. But David Chase saw the humor in him just looking at the black guy, looking at the girl, taking 2 steps back and just sitting down and going, like in his mind, he told you, look at the fucking balls on this yam.
Yeah.
Telling me to sit
Yeah,
down.
that's right.
But he won't tell you that. You know,
He lets it unfold.
That's what we've forgotten in the 2000s. We've forgotten your mind filling in blanks for movies. We give you everything with a movie now. When you watch The Exorcist, it fucks with your mind. It lets your mind work. The directors used to make your mind work. Now you got a camera, you're a director.
Yeah.
That's not what a director does.
It's the same thing in music.
It's the same, right? So when you get around, I can't imagine being around Inspector Clouseau. Who played Inspector Clouseau when we were Clit? Peter Sellers.
Yeah, he's the correct
While
one.
he was shooting the Pink Panther, if you weren't there taking notes, you know, when I see planes, trains, and automobiles, John Candy stole the movie, but if from a comedian standpoint, it was Steve Martin, because he had to learn how to tame himself down to let this guy run. You're not going to out-funny him, Steve, so knock that off. This guy could out-funny you in a heartbeat, but he took his comedy and showed it to you in a different way.
Right.
You know what I'm in the mood to watch lately?
What's that?
Tomorrow night, My Blue Heaven.
Oh, I haven't seen that in a
watch
long time.
You watch?
When my mom was here, we watched that movie.
How great is that movie?
It's pretty. I never heard of it, but
Oh
it's
my
pretty
God.
great.
Remember, you married her.
Yeah. It probably didn't get a lot of notoriety, did it?
I don't know what year it came out, but it just didn't do it.
Yeah.
To me, those are comedy masterpieces. When I saw Eddie Murphy Delirious, I knew that was when I saw Dice Clay's special, I knew it
love
was something
Dice.
special. You know, it's really weird to be around those guys, like it is when Emerson Palmer walked in.
Yeah.
Or, you know, when what would happen when B.B. King walks in? And he looks at you and he goes, tune it an A.
Yeah.
And you're standing there going, tune it an A. I'm about to fucking shit my pants and puke. This is B.B. King in the fucking room.
Yeah.
You know? So
You're sitting with
that's
one
just
of the
to let
godly
you
like
know.
people,
Yeah, like what you said, you know, Jack White, whatever. You're just happy to fucking see these people.
Oh,
So
yeah, man.
it's I never liked Roger Waters. I
No.
thought his fucking ego overpowered. We spoke about ego on Monday.
I don't like ego.
I don't like
I don't deal with
fucking
it.
ego.
I don't care what it
I
is,
never
who
liked
you are.
the fucking ego on that other prick that broke up, because he broke up Pink Floyd, and that other fuckhead broke up the Police. That fucking Sting.
Sting.
That ego of a cocksucker. You know, all those egos have always fucking killed me. Those
Egos will screw up everything, man.
But now with music, it doesn't seem like the egos are there no more. These people are just happy to be up there. Whether it's Pat, whether it's Leonard Skinner, whether it's I speak to Rudy a lot. Rudy goes on the road with Loving Spoonful or one of those.
Rudy
Grand
does?
Funk Railroad.
Oh,
Yeah.
Grand Funk. Is
One
he
of
playing
those.
with Grand Funk?
Yeah, one of those.
Oh, that's cool.
Last year it was the band from Seattle. Not Soundgarden, not Nirvana, not the other one.
The other one. Who's the other one from Seattle?
I will land you close to you. I will help you see it through. Silent lucidity.
Who is
Dun,
it?
dun, dun.
We're all drawing a
Put
blank.
on Silent Lucidity. I forget the name of the band. He played with them for a couple tours.
He's a busy guy.
Yeah, he's in
He's
the
a working
70s.
musician. Is he really?
He's got to be 67, 70.
Okay. I guess we're all getting older.
He's got a radio show, the music, so
Queenshire?
Queensryche.
Oh,
Queensryche.
Yeah.
So I know he was on road with Queensryche. He does it's amazing how you're not that distant anymore as a musician. When you and I were growing up, Led Zeppelin was a year away. They were a pond away. We live in a world today where if we try hard enough, Jimmy Page just might answer you back on Twitter.
You never know.
Or Dave Gilmour just might answer you back on Twitter. Or
Joey Diaz.
or Joey Diaz. Or fucking Mick.
Where'd I meet you? At church.
Church, yeah. My daughter. It was a real pleasure meeting you. And It was a real
Likewise.
pleasure having you on. And
Thank you very much.
Promise you, I was going to meet a friend the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're going to meet in the middle of Ventura and Studio City. So I decided, let's just meet in Thousand Oaks at Parma. She called today, and I go, no, he's coming down today. So I have to meet you next week. So I'll go to Parma, and I'll give my review and shit.
Please do.
I'm going to go in there with a disguise on so nobody knows me, like undercover boss.
He'll probably be there. I'll be
No,
gone.
he won't even recognize me. You got to see the disguises I come up with.
No ranch.
So it's in Thousand Oaks in Los Angeles?
It's in Thousand Oaks.
Yeah, I dress up as a nun. You won't even know it's me, a fat fucking nun with big tits.
Is there any other kind?
No. Where can these guys find you, brother?
We are at 796 East Thousand Oaks Boulevard.
And what's your website? Because you
Our
have a great
website is
website.
Parma Pizzeria Napoletana.
No, your fucking website.
Oh, my website
Yeah,
is mickmahan.com.
MickMahan.com.
Yeah.
You got pictures on there. You've
There's
got,
pictures on
everything
there. There's
on
a little
there.
taste of music here and there stuff.
and you still do your own music also.
Yeah, I do. I don't do as much as I used to because even the television business has become diluted with a bunch of people that'll give the music away for free. I can't see doing that, I think people should be paid for their art.
Do you have a stage at the pizza place?
No, we do not. It's a very small pizza place.
Why haven't how the fuck don't you have a stage?
Well, because we're out of our minds. We started off real small, but
just a little stage.
A little stage,
We
you
go
know.
up there and do an open mic.
we've had full bands in there,
Oh, you have?
Oh, yeah. We've had full bands in there. The grand opening. And the best drummers in the world live in Thousand Oaks. I mean, they're all the studio guys that played on millions of records, and they all come in, and they'll play. So we don't do it often, but I want to do a little bit more of that. Like Sunday afternoon, open up the front doors, bring a band in. Who cares if it's too loud?
Just a ticket.
It's a ticket.
The ticket. Fuck them.
It's a voice.
And I will see you, if I don't see you at the Parma, I will see you October 19th at the
Saban.
Saban
Yes.
Theater.
Yes.
Getting ready for Pat Benatar. I'll have my fucking wish list.
All
What
right.
songs she needs to play. There's a lot of
I
songs.
bet you'll hear a bunch.
There's a song she put on the one album, and me and my buddy were going through a lot at this time. He's a rich kid, but he was still going through hell. And I was going, it was 83, it was Get Nervous, and it's called Silent Partner.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll never forget, I forgot all about that song. And one day I was on the fucking plane, I had like 2 edibles in me, I had like 3 Toots in me, and I'm going through and I see Get Nervous. I go, let me put it on, I put it on, calling for a stranger in the night and all that shit. When Silent Partner came on, the beginning, the synthesizer and stuff, that first 2 chords, I had to rip my earphones off. It had taken me right back into that car. We used to drive up and down. We were both suicidal. I mean, we had nothing going on with our lives. We were 20 years old.
Yeah.
The only thing that
goofing off.
kept us together was Pat Benatar.
Is that right?
Yeah, Pat, Acid, some Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin. Because the only thing that kept us living was that Led Zeppelin was going to make it. Yesterday or the day before was the 40th anniversary of Led Zeppelin at that festival. What's the big festival they do every year?
Coachella?
No, there was no Coachella back then.
Coachella.
So-
Over in England, where the
Oh,
Stones
right. Oh,
opened up for Skinner, opened up for the Stones. The Stones didn't have a choice. Skinner fucking blew him off the table. They told Skinner not to walk on the tongue. And Skinner went out there and walked on the tongue. It threw the Stones off. They came out with boas, smoking cigarettes. But that was Leonard Skinner. Edinburgh.
Oh, in Edinburgh.
So it's yesterday, 2 days ago, was the 40th anniversary of them
Is that
playing
right?
Edinburgh. We'll look at that video when we end the podcast. You have to see Jimmy Page's heroin addiction. There was nothing to him. They were dressed nicely, but he was just shirt.
Just scratching and shit.
He was just shirt, and you could see the bones and sweat.
Wow.
He does Achilles' Last Stand. Well, yesterday was the 40th anniversary, so now the chitter-chatter was starting that they were going to do the States. I forget when Bonham died. It's going to be the 40th anniversary it's got to be the next month or two.
He's been gone a long time.
79. It's got to be the next 2 months. And I still remember being at a restaurant and Moffin Joe's eating a fucking egg on Jersey style egg sandwich
Yeah.
with cheese.
Nice.
And they said, we'll have an announcement Saturday about a big band. In those days, you didn't buy tickets. You had to mail in a money order.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then they tell you if you got the
There was
4
no
tickets.
ticket master or anything.
No. And fucking
September 25th of 80.
There you
Wait,
go.
that's why.
80 he died?
That's what it says online, yeah.
Yeah. I always thought it was 79. Boy, was I wrong. Mick, it was a real pleasure,
Hey,
brother.
you too, man.
And you
Glad
got an
to be
open
here.
door anytime you wanted to
Thank
promote
you very much.
the fucking pizza parlor or the tour or a new album
Beautiful.
or a single.
I'm sure we'll hang
Or a
out.
porno. Whatever you want to do, we're here for you, my brother.
All right, man.
Thank you
very much.
And now
Thanks,
for
guys.
a word from our sponsors. All right, I want to thank my man, Mick Mahan. I want to thank the Christ Killer, but most importantly, I want to thank you motherfuckers for always listening and having our back. It's a beautiful motherfucking week. Kids are back to school. But first, let me talk to you about a few things. The church is sponsored by Upstart. Most of us find out the hard way. But getting into debt is real easy. Getting out of debt, that's a complete different story. That's hard, especially if your FICO score isn't great. Thankfully now, there's Upstart.com, a revolutionary lending platform that knows you're more than just a credit score. Your Upstart interest rate is based on your education and job history, not your credit score. Upstart doesn't care about the bills you didn't pay 5 years ago. They care about the person you are now, today, and they give you a rate based on that. Plus, they make it fast, simple, and easy to check your rate in just a few minutes without affecting your credit score. The best part? Once the loan is approved, most people get their funds the very next business day. The next day, over 200,000 people have used Upstart to pay off credit cards, student loans, fund their weddings, or make a large purchase. With Upstart, you can free yourself from the burden of high-interest credit card debt by consolidating everything into one monthly payment. You cannot beat that. You understand me? You take everything you owe, put it down to one. Now you know where you stand, and that's what Upstart will do to you. So do me a favor. We'll do for you. So do me a favor. See why Upstart is ranked number one in the category with over 300 businesses on Trustpilot. Hurry to upstart.com/church, CHURCH, to find out how low your Upstart rate is. Checking your rate only takes a few minutes, and it won't affect your credit. That's upstart.com/church. The church is also brought to you by my favorite, CBDLion.com. Listen, they make CBD products from start to finish. CBD Lion's got you covered. Whether you want a vape, cartridge, or shatter, if you're not into smoking, listen. Like I said in the beginning, the gummies are fantastic. The raspberry, the strawberry, and the orange, they'll put you in a different fucking orbit. You're not going to get high off them. This is pure CBD. You follow me? Their products are clean. And they aren't like the fakes that you see with all the fucked up advertising in the fucking liquor stores and all that bullshit. This is CBD the way it's supposed to be. Last night, 2 nights ago, I went to the Comedy Store on Saturday, and I went home, and I took the purple bottle of 5,000 milligrams, and I put it under my tongue. I got home at 10:30. Do you know at 11:15 I cannot keep my fucking eyes open? I was up at 5:30 in the morning on the Lord's Day walking around. I had to take a fucking nap. Anyway, Go to cbdlion.com and check out their third-party test results yourself. The church family gets 20% off at checkout. Me personally, whatever. The cream for your knee, your elbow, your shoulder, the tincture, your tip-top magoo. Don't forget about the gummies. So go to cbdlion.com right now and press in church at checkout and get 20% off your order. I want to thank Upstart. I want to thank cbdlion.com. But most importantly, I want to thank you savages for always having my back. Go to joeydiaz.net for tour dates, T-shirts, cups, whatever the fuck you need, all right? That's it, and that's that. We'll see you motherfuckers Wednesday. Tip-top magoo, I love you. Lee, kick this motherfucking mule.